Part 36. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 351. Hearing this sentence, the three of them had question marks on their faces, especially the big questions hanging on their little heads. Sir, what does this mean? Do you know our sword immortal ancestor before? No, it's that after I destroyed the eternal land, the remaining sword intent was copied by the sword immortal, and it also created everything that happened later. Li Bai slowly explained. At this moment, the three of them just felt that their hearts were broken. They really couldn't digest this information. The amount of information was too great. It's over, I don't have enough brain. I can't imagine it. This is simply too abstract. Our sword immortal ancestor actually copied other people's sword intentions. I can't comment, but I'm shocked. After a long time, the three of them barely digested the news. Sir, you are too scary. You actually destroyed the eternal land. That is the eternal land, blessed by the power of eternity. Niao kept patting her chest, trying to keep herself awake at all times and soothe her fragile mind. The ambition of the attacking faction in Eternal Land is too great. One day they will attack all the worlds, so I will simply. Okay, sir, stop talking, it's too damn scary. He covered his ears with his hands, and his head shook like a rattle. In this regard, Li Bai did not continue to say anything. After all, things on this level are indeed too scary. By the way, young master, doesn't this mean that you are our great ancestor? Xuanhuan's eyes widened and he said after reacting. If you insist on saying so, it doesn't matter. After all, the sword immortal has now completely inherited my sword spirit. Just now, after meeting the sword immortal, I completely gave him my sword spirit. Li Bai nodded and said lightly. After hearing these words, Niao rolled her eyes and immediately walked to Li Bai's side, holding Li Bai's arms with both hands, as if she were a little bird, and shouted sweetly. Tai Ziu. Even Li Bai, who had seen strong winds and waves, couldn't help but get goosebumps when he heard this sound. It was so embarrassing. This scene made Ergoz's eyes widen and his mouth opened. You can't imagine that a being who has lived for an infinite era is using such a clip sound to act coquettishly. Not only that, but even Xuanhuan and Xuanhuan are doing the same. Stop it, what's going on with your damn voice? Tell me, what's the matter? Li Bai said helplessly. Hey, Teju, look, I've been stuck at half step ahead for a long time. It's been a long time. There are countless paths to take in all the worlds. Who asked you to choose such a rare path? Li Bai said calmly. At that time, I was so arrogant, didn't I think I could do it? Pouting their little lips, this eye-catching scene, Xuanhuan and Xuanhuan couldn't help but cover their eyes and shouted, I can't see it, I can't see it. Although I can help you, and even let you step directly into the Forerunner right now, if this happens, your road will almost come to an end, and the explorer will not even think about it. In this case, are you still willing? Li Bai glanced at Niao and said, he rarely helps the Forerunners directly. After all, only those whose talents can only reach the Forerunners, Li Bai will let them directly step into the Forerunners, but Niao's talents do not stop at the Forerunners. Well, let's forget it, sir, I don't want to stop at the Forerunners, I have greater ambitions. After hearing these words, Niao didn't hesitate at all and directly denied her request. After all, after reaching this state, her lifespan is almost unlimited. She has plenty of time to slowly understand her own path forward. By the way, young master, why did you come to the eternal upper realm? Then, Niao asked another more important question. Because, the Eldar. Eldar. That's right, Your fairy sword heavenly palace received an invitation from the spirit clan, didn't you? Li Bai looked at Xuanhuan and said. Sir, are you talking about the great emperor's cemetery? The great emperor's cemetery. Wuhan, what the great emperor's cemetery? Jian Shi and Niao asked hurriedly. I forgot to tell the two ancestors that this is the case. Immediately, Xuanhuan explained the matter in detail. After listening, Jian Shi and Niao frowned unconsciously. How did the spirit race discover the two great emperor cemeteries in the world of origin? Also, now that they have discovered it, will they be so kind as to share it? Niao's tone was full of doubts. After all, she didn't believe that the spirit clan would be so kind. Having said that, but, this can be regarded as an opportunity. After all, it can allow our disciples to see the geniuses of the spiritual clan. Secondly, isn't there the Daijun clan? They should. Don't dare to do anything. Although Jian Shi's tone was a little worried, it was still an opportunity not to be missed. Even he couldn't resist this temptation. Just as the two of them were thinking, Li Bai said lightly. Don't worry, I will appear here this time just for this emperor's cemetery. Sir, do you mean you want to join? Li Bai nodded. Sir, do you know something? Niao asked carefully from the side, how could something that interests Li Bai be simple? I don't know much about it, but I have some clues. After all, at that time, there were too many emperor cemeteries like this. Li Bai said slowly. Since there is Teju, what do we have to worry about? We must go, just in time to see what conspiracy the spirit clan has. Calculating the time, it should be soon. Teju, how about you stay in our fairy sword heavenly palace during this period? Jian Shi asked cautiously. It doesn't have to be like this. I still have a lot of things to do. Just let Ling I and Ergoza stay here. Just let me know when the time comes. Li Bai said lightly. Oh okay. Niao said slightly disappointed. By the way, I know Daijun Teishu, you can discuss the details with the Daijun family first. Then, Li Bai said lightly. Daijun Teishu, is he the immortal from the Daijun clan? Start, Invincible, met the empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 352. If not. Sir, you are still related to the Daijun clan. That's right, Emperor Jun Teishu once received my guidance. Sir, I'm just curious. Are there forces in the universe that you are not familiar with? A pair of beautiful eyes stared at Li Bai and asked. Of course there are, but very few. Okay, I still have things to do, so I'll leave first. Wait a minute, young master, there is something I don't know if I should tell you. Just as Li Bai was about to leave, he heard Xuanhuan's hesitant words. Explain. That's it, there is an emperor's daughter in our fairy sword heavenly palace who wants to meet you. Xuanhuan said anxiously. Oh, you want to see me? But that imperial daughter who practices the supreme being's ruthlessness? Li Bai asked slowly after a moment of careful consideration. Yes, Teju, it is her, but, if it were you, ask her to wait in the heavenly palace, I'll be there right away. Li Bai said without any hesitation. Ah, Teju, do you agree? Xuanhuan said in surprise. The Supreme Being is ruthless. Speaking of which, she and I have a causal relationship. As expected of the great ancestor, he can have cause and effect with anyone. Okay, I'm leaving first, Ling Biao, Ergoza, you stay here first and wait for me to come back. Li Bai said to Lingya and Ergoza. Okay, master. Okay, sir. We would like to send you off to Teju. After saying that, Li Bai's figure disappeared into the inner universe. After a long time, the three Niao people reacted, feeling as if they were in a dream. They didn't expect that they could have a relationship with such a person. Tisk, tisk, what a dreamy day. I didn't expect to see the legendary Emperor in white. You know, this is an existence that has been evaluated by countless existences as immortal and as terrifying as darkness. Yes, this is the Emperor in white, the mastermind behind countless wars. He, speaking of which, we really burn incense in our ancestral graves. We have all these thanks to the sword immortal ancestor. At this moment, in the heavenly palace, Xuanhuan had already received the news immediately and was waiting here hurriedly. At first, she still didn't believe it. After all, the other party was an emperor who even the palace owner respected, so how could he pay any attention to her? Little God King. Although she is gifted with enchantment, she is the emperor's daughter of the immortal sword palace and the Xuanhuan family, and she has inherited the ruthlessness of the supreme being at such a young age, but in the eyes of beings like Li Bai, she is just a drop in the ocean among all living beings, an ant among ants. However, after all, it was the palace master who said it himself, so she couldn't help but not believe it. At this moment, her face was filled with an inexplicable look, and she kept clenching her hands, as if waiting for a divine punishment. At this moment, a fairy light enveloped the hall, and Li Bai slowly appeared next to Xuanhuan. Junior, I've seen it, Senior. Senior, please forgive me for being so offended. After Xuanhuan saw Li Bai appear, she said extremely respectfully, not daring to neglect at all. It was also at this time, after having such close contact with Li Bai, that she realized that the fear that she had cut off long ago seemed to have never disappeared. No problem, no need to be afraid. May I have your name? Li Bai's voice was soft. He looked at the trembling woman in front of him and waved his hand gently. In an instant, Xuanhuan felt that her fear disappeared, and then she stood up uncontrollably. Senior, my name is Xuanhuan, and I come from the Xuanhuan family. Xuanhuan ignored this and said hurriedly. Xuanhuan, from that imperial clan. That's right, Senior. I remember that your Xuanhuan family is not a force in the world. Li Bai said doubtfully. Senior, do you know our Xuanhuan family? Xuanhuan said in shock. Of course, your ancestor, Xuanhuan Wudi, is a figure known throughout the world. How could I not recognize him? Li Bai said with a smile. Ah, this. Xuanhuan won't be able to deal with these words. Speaking of which, how could you appear in the upper realm of eternity? Senior, to tell you the truth, it is because of the ruthless guidance of the Supreme Being. She said that in the eternal upper world, there will be an opportunity for me, and it is such a huge opportunity. Tai Shang Qingwu, have you seen her? Li Bai said in surprise. Yes, Senior, I did see the shadow of the Supreme Ruthless Empress once. Xuanhuan nodded and said. It's not bad. You can get her approval and inheritance. It can be seen that she likes you very much. Li Bai said with a smile. Senior, you are exaggerating. I am just lucky. Tai Shang Qingwu, have you cultivated to that point? To be precise, you have cut off that emotion. To tell you my senior, I have cut off my fear. Just when Xuanhuan was about to say the word fear, she felt a lump in her throat, because she didn't know if she had really cut off her fear now. After all, she had felt fear just now. At this moment, she remembered the words of Tai's Hang Ching Ching again. Waner, it is much harder to cut off fear than you think. It may even be impossible, because there will always be someone who will make your fear return. If you really see such a person one day, you must go find her. It was because of this sentence that she wanted to meet Li Bai. Then, she changed the subject. Senior, I have not cut off any emotions now. It is because of fear, right? Li Bai said lightly. Hearing this, Xuanhuan did not answer, but just pursed her lips. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 353. Don't belittle yourself. Now you have finally cut off your fear. After all, even if you see the great emperor, you won't feel afraid, right? Li Bai said lightly. But, senior, I know what you want to say. Do you want to know why she said that? Li Bai's question made Xuanhuan extremely confused. That's what you were thinking of just now. You. Xuanhuan's eyes suddenly widened. She remembered the sentence she just recalled in her mind, and how did the senior know about it? Could it be mind reading? It's just a little trick, don't worry about it. Senior, please give me some advice. Xuanhuan immediately knelt on her knees and said respectfully. It's very simple, because even she, the supreme ruthless empress, has never really cut off her fear, because in her heart, there is always someone who scares her forever. Li Bai's words were very soft, but in Xuanhuan's ears, they were as heavy as 1,000 mountains. Senior, how is this possible? She is the supreme ruthless empress, one of the eternal empresses. Xuanhuan said in disbelief. She felt that some of her beliefs were about to be shaken. She had seen Tai's Hangyuking's shadow, and naturally heard some things about her from Tai's Hangyuking, and was ambiguous about her strength. The concept of, so what if she is one of the eternal empresses? Looking at the history of all heavens and worlds, there have been countless amazing talents and stunning talents in countless eras. There are even the kind of geniuses of the era who have consumed an entire era to appear. Such is the case. All the characters are afraid. How can Tai's Hangyuking eliminate fear? How can she escape? To give you the simplest example, are you afraid of darkness? Li Bai stared at Xuanhuan and said. I am afraid. Xuanhuan said noncommittally that as long as it was a creature, she would be afraid of any living being. However, this kind of fear had been ignored by her in the past. What she thought before was something that everyone was afraid of, but on the contrary, she was not afraid of it anymore. Of course, she no longer has this idea. It's okay to be afraid. After all, this is an existence that all living things cannot escape. The same is true for light. Both are indispensable things in the heavens. Just like those living creatures in the darkness, they are also afraid of light. You know, does the Supreme Ruthless Empress have a name? Li Bai said to Xuanhuan again. Junior doesn't know. Xuanhuan shook her head and said. That is, the Supreme Being is affectionate. The Supreme Being is affectionate. Yes, in fact, Tai's Hangyuking has never extinguished any emotions. Then if that's the case, why do you want me to? Being ruthless and sentient is a process and the only result. All sentient beings gradually evolve after discovering that they cannot be killed or let go. Of course, you may not be able to understand it now, and you don't need to understand it. You will always know it in the future. Li Bai looked at Xuanhuan's confused expression and comforted him. At the same time, he waved his hand and a restriction directly enveloped the world. Senior, you. However, before Xuanhuan could finish speaking, at the next moment, Xuanhuan suddenly closed her eyes tightly. Then, her whole body began to change continuously, and wisps of light continued to emanate from Xuanhuan's body. Out, an extremely powerful pressure swept across the entire space in an instant, causing the void to boil and tear apart. Just with a single force, countless ordinary emperors can be crushed to death. At the same time, it is accompanied by the aura that seems to have been decayed for countless epochs, or that a certain era has been buried. Immediately afterwards, Xuanhuan's face kept changing. A beautiful face, as if she had exhausted all her strength to create it, without any weaknesses, slowly appeared. The original black hair turned into white, and the original clothes were replaced by a white fairy. Yu Yi took his place, and then Xuanhuan slowly opened her eyes. In an instant, the color of the world changed. The vicissitudes contained in these eyes were exactly the same as those of Li Bai. It seemed that they had spanned countless eras and witnessed the rise and fall of countless eras. Seeing this scene, Li Bai smiled and said, "You finally showed up, Taizhang looking." "That's right, Xuanhuan at this moment is none other than Taizhang Qingqing, one of the eternal empresses. In the entire universe, there are not many people who can be called the eternal empress. They can be counted on one hand. The first is Xiaju, followed by Taizhang Ruwu, and the one in the immortal realm is looking for something. The empress is also one of them. Although Nanyi is also called the eternal empress, she denies this title after all. After all, she has been on the eternal emperor list. Of course, the beings in the immortal realm still call them this way as always. After all, like the mortal emperor, she was promoted from the mortal body to the great emperor." Snort. Faced with Li Bai's words, Taizhang Qingqing just snorted lightly, and then looked at Li Bai's expression. Various complex emotions were intertwined, including fear, longing, and love, but more hate. "Is it true that if I don't say those last few words, you will never plan to meet me?" Li Bai raised his eyebrows lightly, looked at the Supreme Being in front of him and said ruthlessly. Snort. The Supreme Being was ruthless and still only snorted coldly, as if he didn't want to answer Li Bai's words. Li Bai was not in a hurry when she saw this. She knew Taizhang Qingqing's character too well. He was just a very arrogant person. Then, the two of them looked at each other and neither of them spoke. Finally, after an unknown amount of time passed, Taizhang looking couldn't bear it any longer and slowly raised his lips and said, "Li Bai, don't you have anything to say?" Taizhang Qingqing's voice is very cold, so cold that it's so cold. "What do you want me to say?" Li Bai said lightly. "You are still as annoying as ever. To each other, you are still the same arrogant person as before." Li Bai retorted. "But if you miss me, just tell me. Why go through such a big detour?" "Haha, I miss you." "Li Bai, what are you thinking about? I miss you even if I miss a pig." The Supreme Being said with a ruthless sneer, as if Li Bai's words just now were a big joke. "Oh, then why do you want Xuanhuan to come to the eternal upper realm and join the immortal sword heavenly palace, and you also say that there is a huge opportunity here?" Li Bai said with a smile. "You don't care about me, no matter who you are, you just care about me. Also, you are too pretentious." The Supreme Being scolded ruthlessly in a cold voice. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's Apprentice. Author, Benpao de la Chang. Chapter 354. Originally, I thought that I could see Taizhang looking in Xuanhuan. It was just a coincidence. In the end, I didn't expect that you would be so fond of her that you even split a ray of soul to attach to her. Presumably, the fear she exuded when she saw me was because of you, right?" Li Bai said slowly. "That's right, the person Taizhang looking fears most in her life is Li Bai." It was only after meeting Li Bai that she realized that all the emotions she wanted to cut off could not be realized at all. "Li Bai, since you disappeared, why did you show up again?" This time, the Supreme Lord's ruthless tone was no longer cold, but an angry question. "Are you questioning me?" Li Bai said slowly and in a calm tone, but the Supreme Being knew ruthlessly that Li Bai was angry. "Why, can't I even ask about this kind of thing now? Or, Li Bai, you have no heart at all. Do you know how much Xiaju missed you after you disappeared, you heartless man?" The Supreme Lord's ruthless tone gradually became more and more angry. I know, I'm sorry for her. I've already seen Xiaoju's shadow. Li Bai said slowly. Haha, since you have seen it, you should know how painful Xiaoju was during those years, and how you could endure it. You know, Jushin's oppression of her, and even until the moment of her death, you never wavered. Faith. After hearing this, Li Bai lowered his eyes and said nothing. However, the Supreme Being was still extremely angry and continued to question. Finally, when she said these words, Li Bai couldn't help it anymore. You are not worthy of Xiaoju at all. Xiaoju shouldn't have created the immortal realm. That's enough, shut up. Li Bai shouted angrily, and the look in his eyes gradually became cold. Haha, how can it be enough, Li Bai? As an immortal and eternal existence, but you can't even protect Xiaoju, who are you the originator? If I had known that this was the case, Xiaoju shouldn't have brought you back from that place of death when you lost your memory. At this moment, the Supreme Being was as ruthless as a madman, and his face was even distorted. The next moment, Li Bai's figure disappeared. Immediately, Tai's Hang-Wuking felt that his neck was being pinched hard, and the suffocation feeling swept through his body instantly. Don't think that I dare not kill you. Li Bai stared at the Supreme Being looking and said viciously, the cold look in his eyes seemed to be able to condense even the darkness. Li Bai at this moment seems to be the real Li Bai, the Li Bai who is indifferent to all life. Haha, then if you kill me, are you talking about your pain point? It turns out that Li Bai also has emotions. I thought you wouldn't be angry because of someone. Li Bai, if you don't dare to kill me, I will look down on you. You coward. After looking at each other in silence for a long time, Li Bai slowly let go of his hand. In the end, Li Bai was not able to take action. As for the reason, perhaps only he himself knows. Haha, Li Bai, aren't you a creature without any emotions? Why? King Guo, I don't want to explain too much about this matter. I know, I'm sorry for Xiaoju, but, there are some things I have to do. Don't worry, I will avenge Xiaoju sooner or later. Jushin, I will not let go of any of those originators. Li Bai said ruthlessly with his back to the Supreme Being. Li Bai, is your answer really so important? The Supreme Being stared at Li Bai's back ruthlessly and put away his previous emotions. Is it important? Maybe, I don't know whether it is important or not. Countless years have sometimes worn me down. Countless people have died on this road. The people around me, Xiaoju, King Di, the other side, wait, I'm already numb. It's just, there are some things I have to do. Because no one can do it except me. Li Bai turned around, looked at Tai's Han King Guo and said, sadness and helplessness appeared on Gu Jing Liubo's face for the first time. But, have you ever thought about what if you fail? I know that you have always wanted to get the answer and your life experience, but, don't you think that the road you are walking on has no end at all? Can you really get rid of all those secrets by yourself? The Supreme Being said ruthlessly and angrily. It doesn't matter, once this experiment has begun, it cannot be terminated. Also, do you really expect me to fail? Li Bai said with a smile, and then, after touching the Emperor's ruthless hair, his tone returned to the original Li Bai that she hated. At this moment, feeling the warmth, Tai's Hang-Wuking was a little distracted, recalling all the scenes in Jushin in his mind. That's not true. Forget it, don't talk about these things anymore, you. Still alive. Tai's Hang-Wuking said slowly. Yeah, that's good. To be honest, I am very happy to know that you are still alive and to see you again. Okay, the time is almost up, let's go back. After Li Bai finished speaking with a smile, Tai's Hang-King's body gradually began to change, and the decaying aura gradually disappeared along with the terrifying pressure. Li Bai, can I ask you a question? Certainly. Have you, ever, liked me, or rather, have you ever looked back at me? The Supreme Being stared at Li Bai ruthlessly and said, trying to find the answer he wanted in Li Bai's eyes. After hearing this, Li Bai also paused, closed his eyes, and then said, "Don't you already know the answer?" Finally, the Supreme Being smiled ruthlessly, but this smile was very sad and beautiful, with tears in it, more like a peony blooming with blood. "I see." Tai's Hang Ching Ching said with a smile, feeling the great irony. As Tai's Hang looking, she actually fell into love and could not break free. This is extremely ridiculous. She also has selfish motives. She planned all this and went around to see Li Bai. Her real purpose was to ask this question. Now she knows the answer. "Li Bai, you are really a very annoying person." "I know." "No, you have no idea." "Forget it, no matter what, I'm happy to see you again. By the way, don't forget what you said, you must avenge Xiaju, otherwise, if you break your promise, I will definitely come and kill you when I wake up. Goodbye, Li Bai." The ruthless voice of the Supreme Being became smaller and smaller until the last words that Li Bai could hear. "I love you and hope you can find that answer." At this point, the soul of Tai's Hang Looking has completely disappeared. Perhaps, the two will never meet again in the future. Brothers, I really tried my best after I woke up this afternoon, I just felt dizzy. There are only 7 updates today, don't mind. I will make up for the remaining 3 updates tomorrow. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 355. Senior, this is. It's okay, you just fell into a coma. Li Bai said lightly. Coma, how could I be in coma? Xuanhuan murmured doubtfully, she knows her body. By the way, this is for you. Then, Li Bai took out a yellowed paper crane and handed it to Xuanhuan. Senior, what is this? Xuanhuan stared at it without knowing why. The severely damaged paper crane in her hand was just a paper crane made of folded ordinary paper. There was nothing special about it. If you can see the ruthless shadow of the Supreme Being again in the future, please help me and pass this to her. Li Bai's eyes were dark and unclear. Okay, Senior, no problem. By the way, remember what I said before? Senior, I remember, I won't worry about it anymore. Xuanhuan said solemnly. Well, okay, in that case, I'll leave first. Congratulations, Senior. After finishing speaking, Li Bai lifted the confinement of the seal and disappeared into the heavenly palace. Xuanhuan, on the other hand, carefully put away the yellowed paper crane, and then left the heavenly palace. At this moment, the eternal lower realm, the Purple Forest Holy Land. After Li Bai left, the 5 holy lands have undergone earth-shaking changes during this period. Due to reasons in the secret realm at that time, after Li Bai left that day, the Heavenly Fire Holy Land launched an imperial war against the Purple Forest Holy Land. The Imperial War, as the name suggests, is a war in which the Great Emperor participates. This news can be said to have spread throughout the entire lower realm of eternity. Of course, the other 3 holy lands cannot stand idly by, especially Xuanhuan Holy Land. After Xuanhuan Immortal Emperor learned about this incident, he immediately took all the elders to Purple Forest Holy Land for support. In the end, the Heavenly Fire Holy Land was destroyed, and the Emperor of the Heavenly Fire Holy Land also met his end. This incident caused huge waves in the eternal lower realm. After all, the last time an emperor died in the eternal lower realm was only in the last era. However, there is one pity, that is, Lin Vuchang disappeared. At this moment, in the Purple Forest Holy Land, Nalan Yan was sitting in her mansion, holding her chin up and thinking about something with her eyes. Rather than thinking, it was more like she was missing someone. Master, Master. At this time, a crisp voice broke Nalan Yan's thoughts. When she turned around, she saw Kanglan and the others standing behind her. Kanglan? What's wrong? Nalanyan came back to her senses and said with a smile. Master, what are you thinking about? I called you several times, but you didn't respond. Kanglan pouted and said. Nothing. Nalanyan shook her head and said. Hey, Master, do you miss the young master? Kanglan said slyly. Hearing these words, the tips of Nalanyan's ears turned red involuntarily. Traitor, what are you talking about? Believe it or not, I will beat you. Also, tell me quickly, what's the matter? Nalanyan said, pretending to be angry. Oh, Master, please stop pretending. There is nothing to be ashamed of. We miss young Master very much too. Kanglan said with a smile. Okay, come on, tell me what's going on with you. Oh, yes, Master, we just passed through the secret realm that the young Master left behind. Kanglan said extremely excitedly. Huh? Didn't you pass it before? The difficulty at that time was not the easiest. Now the three of us have successfully cleared the nightmare difficulty. Kanglan said with pride. Real or fake? How long have you been in the Holy Lord before you can pass the nightmare level? Nalanyan said in disbelief. We didn't lie to you, Master. Yes, Master, how can you lie about such a thing? I, Xiongda, never lie to Master. Kanglan and the other three said extremely solemnly. Yes. If this is the case, does it mean that you have also understood the imperial technique that the young master gave you? Nalanyan asked with a smile. I just realized it. Master, it's not like you don't know how difficult this imperial technique is. What is it? I, the old bear, only understood 20% of it. Hey, I'm 30%. Okay, I know you guys are awesome, tell me, is there anything else? Hey, we hope to go out. However, before Kanglan could finish speaking, they heard a very familiar voice coming from the void. Not bad, I've only been away for a short period of time, and you will be able to understand the Emperor's art. It seems that we should increase the difficulty for you. At this moment, the four of them trembled after hearing this voice, especially Nalanyan. Although she only got along with Li Bai for a short time, everything about Li Bai was firmly engraved in her heart. Then, Li Bai's figure slowly appeared in front of them. Grown-ups. Master! Damn it, Master! After the four of them saw Li Bai's figure, they were immediately overjoyed. Yes, they have already broken through to the realm of the Holy Lord. Li Bai looked at Kanglan and the others and said with a smile. Sir, why are you back? Kanglan immediately ran to Li Bai and said happily. Why, don't you want me to come back? Li Bai smiled and touched Kanglan's hair and said. How could it be, sir, you don't know, we miss you so much, especially my master, who was still thinking about you just now. Kanglan said mischievously. Kanglan, what are you talking about? When Nalanyan heard this, her cheeks flushed slightly, and she didn't dare to look at Li Bai again. Okay, your master and I have something to say, you go out first. He, okay sir. Then Kanglan and Ruhua showed a mysterious smile and pulled the confused Xiongda away. Hey, what are you doing? I haven't talked to you yet. Shut up, silly bear, hurry up. After seeing the figures of several people disappear, Li Bai slowly looked at Nalanyan and said. Not bad, only one step away, you can be promoted to the Eternal God King. Nalanyan, meet you, sir. Nalanyan said respectfully to Li Bai. No need to be polite between you and me. By the way, how is your immortal bone cultivation? Li Bai asked slowly. Sir, I have completely integrated the wisdom immortal bone and the combat immortal bone into one, and there is no rejection. Nalan Yan said excitedly after hearing this, and then looked at Li Bai proudly. So quickly, it has been integrated. I originally thought that you would need at least a year. Li Bai smiled and pretended to be surprised. He, sir, I am also very powerful. By the way, sir, why did you come back suddenly? Nalan Yan hummed and asked slowly. Take you to a place. Take us. Nalan Yan asked blankly. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 356. By the way, where are Han Shui and Di Shishan? They should still be in Xuanhuan Holy Land now. By the way, has anything happened in the lower realm during this time? After hearing this, Li Bai nodded and asked. And Nalan Yan also told the story of the destruction of the heavenly fire Holy Land. In response, Li Bai just nodded lightly. The destruction of such a power with only one emperor was not the slightest shock to him, just like the death of an ant. By the way, is that Lin Vuchang dead? Sir, he ran away. Not only that, even our ancestors tried their best to search for him, but they couldn't find any news about him. Okay, I understand. Let's go to Xuanhuan Holy Land first. Ah, sir, why are you so anxious? Our ancestors haven't seen you yet. What's there to see about an old man? Besides, it's not like he won't be seen again in the future. After finishing speaking, Li Bai took Nalan Yan and left the Purple Forest Holy Land directly. At this moment, in a palace in Xuanhuan Holy Land, Emperor Shishan and Han Shui were feasting on barbecue, and it was Da Shichun who made the barbecue. Da Shichun, not bad, not bad, I didn't expect you to have such skills, it's so delicious, what do you think, brother? Han Shui picked up the skewers and said to Emperor Shishan on the side. Yeah, delicious. Di Shishan said calmly. Hey, this is what my master taught me. At that time, I followed my master, and I ate from the rune world to other origin worlds, such as ancient true dragons, ancient dragons, and phoenixes, and even ancestral beasts. However, his meat, Xuanhuan, is so delicious. Da Shichun, who was having a barbecue, scratched his head in embarrassment and said. I didn't expect that senior wandering ancient immortal could have such skills. Given their existence, I would never eat these things. Han Shui's mouth was full of oil after eating. Ancestral beast, is it the origin of the monster world? Emperor Shishan asked slowly after hearing the word ancestral beast. It seems so, but these are all very far away, and I can't remember them clearly. Da Shichun frowned and said, thinking hard. Forget it, forget about it, Da Shichun, grill it more, the kidneys of the swallowing pig, it's so fragrant. Okay. Just as Da Shichun was about to continue baking, the three of them heard a voice and suddenly appeared in the hall. Hey, the food is quite good. Who, come out. When Han Shui and Di Shishan heard the sentence, they immediately released their own auras to search. Kidney, leave some for me. When another sentence was spoken, Li Bai and Nalan Yan slowly appeared in front of everyone. Gilo, master. Grown-ups. Grown-ups. Han Shui, Emperor Shishan, and Da Shichun immediately said in surprise after seeing Li Bai. Afterwards, Li Bai directly picked up the kidneys on the table and ate them regardless of everyone's gazes. Well, not bad, it's delicious. Da Shichun, please have some more. After Li Bai tasted it, he said to Da Shichun. Okay, sir, I'll bake it right away. Nalan, don't stand there stupidly, come over and have something to eat. Li Bai said to Nalan Yan. Ahem, sir, I won't eat. I'm not hungry. Nalanyan declined Li Bai's request. Just when Li Bai was rolling his waist wildly, Han Shui and Emperor Shi Tiantian reacted. Holy shit, sir, please save some for me. After a while, Han Shui asked. Sir, why are you here? Take you to the upper world. Li Bai enjoyed Nalanyan's shoulder thumping and said happily, this posture makes him look like an old man. Upper bound. Upper bound. Han Shui and Di Shishan asked in confusion. Is such that? Immediately, Li Bai told the matter. However, Emperor Shishan and Han Shui did not have any joy on their faces, but instead looked sad. After all, since they came to the eternal upper realm, they have also known some things about the spiritual clan, not to mention that one of them is a forerunner of the end realm, and the other is an explorer with dual bloodlines of the Buddhist kingdom and the fairy spirit clan. How could their eyes not see the conspiracy? What do you two think? Li Bai said lightly. Sir, this is most likely a conspiracy. The origin world and the great emperor's cemetery in the origin world are not places that ordinary creatures can enter, even in the smallest corner. Not to mention that the spirit clan and the others invited them. The top talent of a big force. You know, this kind of emperor's cemetery, even if the emperor steps into it rashly, he will be swallowed up by resentment. Although it is only a small corner, it is not something that a god king can break into rashly. Unless. Emperor Shishan stopped abruptly when he said this, as if he thought of something, his eyes were shocked, and then he looked at Li Bai with trembling pupils. Unless it's something, brother, tell me quickly. Han Shui on the side urged. That's right, keep talking. Li Bai glanced at Emperor Shishan and said. Unless, they had no intention of keeping all the geniuses alive, because the spirit clan wants to sacrifice everything of these geniuses, including those within their own clan. Emperor Shishan said with great fear, his voice trembling. What the hell, sacrifice all the Tianxiao? No, why do the Ling clan want to sacrifice these Tianxiao? Han Shui asked doubtfully, while Nalanyan was confused. After all, she didn't understand anything, she only knew the word spirit clan. Yes, it seems that you also know some secrets of the origin realm. Where did you know it from? Emperor Shishan, ignoring Han Shui's question, immediately said to Li Bai. Sir, this is based on the last words of the oldest ancestor of our Xianling clan. I thought it was fake. It's not fake, but you guessed wrong in one thing. Li Bai shook his head and said. Sir, what point? They want to sacrifice not only these Tianxiao, but everyone, including the emperors of these top forces, even themselves are no exception. Boom. Han Shui and Emperor Shi Tian, both of them just felt their heads buzzing. How dare they do that? Aren't they afraid of the alliance of these top forces? Han Shui said in disbelief. I didn't expect that the spirits were so cruel, and I didn't expect that the spirits would not even let me go. But sir, who do they want to summon? The origin of destiny. Li Bai said lightly. Wait, sir, can you explain what you said just now? Han Shui on the side couldn't hold back her inner doubts and said hurriedly. Tell her. Li Bai said. Sister, actually, this is not the great emperor's cemetery. Ah, if it's not the great emperor's cemetery, what is it? It's the tomb of the originator. Emperor Shi Tian said in a low voice. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 357. Emperor Shishan's words almost scared Han Shui to death. The latter's beautiful eyes widened, his face turned pale, and he hesitated. Brother, you are not kidding. Are you sure it's the tomb of the originator? Emperor Shishan said with great certainty. Sister, I can swear on my own terms that I will never lie. Besides, you can ask my lord if I am lying. Then, Han Shui's mechanical version turned to look at Li Bai and said, "Sir, is this true?" Li Bai nodded calmly. "But, that's the originator. How could the originator die?" "Sir, this is also my question. According to the records of our ancestors of the fairy clan, the originator cannot kill the originator, let alone the other living creatures." Emperor Shishan also looked at Li Bai in confusion. "It's true. Starting from the forerunners, people of the same level cannot kill each other, but, do you know that the originators are also different?" Li Bai looked at the two of them and said, only to see them shaking their heads crazily. "It's very simple. The group of origins that appeared when Taishu was opened are called innates. As for the origins that later became the origins, they were all acquired. To put it bluntly, all the origins who were cultivated the day after tomorrow were the origins of innates. Cultivated under the system established by the author. It's just like the relationship between a master and a slave. Do you think a master can't kill his own slave? Do you still understand?" Li Bai said slowly, of course, he did not say that the innate originator was also created. After all, this matter was too frightening and beyond their knowledge. After hearing Li Bai's explanation, the two seemed to have opened the door to a new world. At this moment, they had a little understanding of the originator. "Hey, sir, since you understand so well, do you think it's nature, or nurture?" Han Shui said to Li Bai with a smile. "You guess." Li Bai raised the corners of his mouth and said with a smile. "Humph, if you don't want to say it, then don't say it. By the way, sir, you just said that the spirit tribe wants to sacrifice these people to summon the origin of destiny. Is this really possible?" Emperor Shishan swallowed his saliva and asked anxiously. "It is indeed the origin of destiny, but of course, it cannot be what you think. It is just a wisp of soul. Besides, the spirit race doesn't know which originator it is." Hearing these words, the two of them were shocked, and there was something strange in their eyes. In this case, how could the adults be so sure that the sacrifices would be the origin of destiny, except for one thing, that is, Li Bai himself is the originator, and he is the innate originator. When the two of them thought of this, deep fear and awe appeared in their eyes. Even though all this was just their guess, they didn't dare to gamble even if it was only 1/1000000000th of a degree correct. And Li Bai naturally saw the strangeness deep in the eyes of the two people, and ignored it, leaving them to guess. After all, he himself didn't know his true identity. Later, Li Bai continued. "If an innate originator like Destiny Origin can be summoned casually, it would be too cheap. Furthermore, if you want to sacrifice and summon, the first condition is that you must have the originator's blood and other things. For this reason alone, almost no one can succeed." Li Bai said slowly. "But sir, you also said that it is almost impossible to succeed. The strength of the spirit clan cannot even keep up with the ancient clan. How did they find out that this emperor's cemetery is the tomb of the originator?" Han Shui also asked her doubts. "Because of a scene. Screen. Screen." Emperor Shishan and Han Shui looked at each other, their faces full of doubts. "Okay, you don't need to know this. Do you want to know why the spirit race wants to sacrifice?" Li Bai dropped the topic and said slowly. "Certainly. Yeah, sir, please give it to me quickly, I can't bear it anymore. Actually, this sacrifice is just an experiment by the spirit clan, and it has been planned for a long time. If succeeds, they will sacrifice the entire upper realm of eternity. The purpose is also very simple, just to the Eldar become the origin race." Li Bai once again said a shocking bomb. Nalan Yan was trembling on the side, and kept saying in her heart, "This is what a little god king like me can listen to. How can this be? This is absolutely impossible. How dare they sacrifice the entire upper realm of eternity, and the supervisor won't let it go? The faces of Emperor Shishan and Han Shui were full of horror. Don't forget, the supervisors were originally created by these originators. Also, do you know why the heavenly way in the eternal upper realm was destroyed by the spiritual race? Li Bai said again. Hearing this, Han Shui and Dishi couldn't figure it out. Sir, are you saying that they destroyed the way of heaven just to sacrifice the entire eternal upper world? Yes, this is also the fundamental reason for the destruction of the original heavenly way in the eternal upper world. At the same time, it is also the reason why I brought you here. Li Bai said to Nalan Yan. Ah, sir, what does this have to do with me? Nalan Yan pointed at herself and said. Not only does it have something to do with you, but it also has a lot to do with it. Think about yourself. Li Bai said slowly. Hearing Li Bai's words, Nalan Yan became even more confused. Suddenly, she remembered what Li Bai had just said and the words the original heavenly way of the eternal upper world, and a memory came back to her mind. Sir, you mean, Kanglan? Nalan Yan said in panic. Yes, it's Kanglan. In fact, originally, I planned to take her there, but because her level was too low and the risk was too high, I gave up the idea. And as her guardian, you are the best choice. Li Bai said slowly. But sir, I am just a god king, what can I do? Besides, rather than saying that I am a guardian, it is better to say that you are the real guardian. Nalan Yan lowered her head and said slowly. Nalan, you have to know that since you agreed to that thing, you and Kanglan have become one. How can I put it? Kanglan is likened to the fairyland, and you are the heavenly clan of the fairyland and the way of heaven in the fairyland. So, can you understand? Li Bai touched Nalan Yan's hair and said slowly. I understand, sir, I just dislike that my strength is too low. Don't worry, I will go too, nothing will happen. Li Bai comforted. Brother, you have listened to what the adults and Xiao Yan said. Han Shui on the side elbowed the dazed Emperor Shishan and asked. Well, sister, haven't you noticed? What did you find? That is, the little girls Nalan Yan and Kanglan have an aura that is incompatible with the eternal upper world. Emperor Shishan said slowly. Yes, why didn't I feel it? Han Shui said doubtfully. Sister, after all, you were also a pioneer before, why are you so stubborn? Emperor Shishan said with disgust. Brother, if you rebel against me, please tell me. Han Shui said fiercely. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 358. Based on the conversation you just had, I guess that this Kanglan may be the last bloodline left by the original Tiandao race. Emperor Shishan whispered in Han Shui's ear. Holy crap, seriously, how could that little girl Kanglan be from the original race of heaven? Han Shui said in a loud voice, directly interrupting the conversation between Li Bai and Nalan Yan. Sir, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Han Shui lowered her head and said guiltily. It's okay, I originally planned to tell you. Since you can guess it, I don't need to waste any more words. Sir, since you know all the conspiracy behind this, why do we still? Emperor Shishan did not continue what he said. Because there is also an opportunity here, and it is still an opportunity for you two to get revenge. Hearing Li Bai's words, the two of them were shocked for a moment, and then tears filled their eyes. They didn't expect that Li Bai could think of themselves, and they didn't expect that this day would come so quickly. Of course, there is also a bit of selfishness in it. After all, I will not stay in the eternal upper realm forever. After I finish solving my affairs, I hope you can protect Kanglan for a while until she truly has the strength to control the eternal upper realm. That day, maybe, this day will be extremely long. Li Bai said slowly. Sir, you don't need to say any more. As long as I can get revenge, I will wait no matter how long it takes. Yes, sir, me too. Dishishan and Han Shui said categorically. Are you sure? You must know that from being a saint, to inheriting the will of the world step by step, and then to controlling the eternal upper world, this is not a matter of two epochs in one era. You can think about it, I won't force you. Li Bai said again. The two of them said without any hesitation. Sir, there is no need to think about it. No matter how long it takes, we can wait. That's right. Okay, in that case, remember what you said, I will give you a little surprise first when we arrive at the origin tomb. Li Bai nodded and said seriously. Sir, what are we going to do now? Nalan Yan asked slowly. You go to the fairy sword heavenly palace in the upper world first. I will say hello there. After that, just wait for me to come back. By the way, let Xianjian Tiangong summon the top forces invited by the spiritual tribe to reveal today's secret. Immortal Sword Heavenly Palace. Sir, it is the top force in the upper world. Emperor Shishan asked slowly. That's right, I went to the Fairy Sword Heavenly Palace some time ago. Then, Li Bai shouted in his mind. Lingbian. Sir, I'm here. In a moment, I will send 4 people up, you can pick them up and just take them to the Immortal Sword Heavenly Palace. Okay, sir, no problem. By the way, in addition, tell Daijun Taishu and ask him to go to the Immortal Sword Palace at all times and wait for my return. Okay, my lord. After doing all this, Li Bai said to the 3 people and Dashichan. Okay, without further ado, I will send you up first. In addition, Dashichan, you will also come with me. This trip will be good for you. Okay, sir. After finishing speaking, Li Bai waved his hand, and the 4 of them felt dizzy for a moment, and then they lost consciousness. When they woke up, they found that they were already in the upper world. This is the upper realm, I'm the first to come. Nalanyan looked at everything unfamiliar around her and couldn't help but sigh. Well, it's indeed good. Compared to the lower world, the conditions for chain repair are more suitable. Just when the 4 of them were about to walk around, they discovered that 2 figures had appeared in front of them. Sister Nalan. After Iargoza saw Nalan Yan, he roared. Who are you? I'm a bitch, eldest sister. Urgoza said excitedly. Your breath. Nalan Yan asked in surprise. Hey, awesome, with the help of adults, I became emperor. Okay, stop showing off, business is more important. Lingye on the side couldn't help but slap Iargoza in the mouth. Hello, my name is Ling Biao. I should be older than you. Just call me Sister Ling Biao. You must be the 4 people sent here by your excellency. Lingye looked at the 4 people in front of him and said. He discovered the clues at just one glance. Except for Nalanyan, who was relatively normal, she did not find that she had 2 immortal bones, the rest were abnormal. First of all, she could not see through Das Hashun's realm. Secondly, she felt the aura of reincarnation in Han Shui and Dishishan. As for Han Shui and Emperor Shishan, they saw through Ling Biao's realm immediately. Sister Ling Ai, my name is Nalanyan. My name is Han Shui, this is Emperor Shishan, just call him Dashichan. Han Shui said slowly. You 2 are not simple. And this one named Dashichan is even more complicated. Ling Biao said with a smile. Hey, how can there be a simple person who can follow the adults? What do you think? Han Shui said with a smile. That's true. Ling Ye, can I ask you a question? Emperor Shishan asked slowly. No problem. Excuse me, are you from the spiritual clan? Yes, but no, it's a bit troublesome to talk about this here. I will tell you when I return to the Fairy Sword Palace. Of course, I also hope you can explain my doubts. Of course. After getting familiar with each other, several people followed Ling Mei back to the Fairy Sword Palace. Of course, he took several people back to the Heavenly Palace directly. Hello, I have been waiting for a long time. My name is Niao Niao, and I am the third ancestor of the Fairy Sword Palace. I, Xuanhuan, am the previous generation of Palace Master. My name is Xuanhuan, and I am the current Palace Master. On the way here, Ling Mei had already told several people about the situation of the Fairy Sword Palace. Especially when talking about the sword Immortal, Han Shui and Emperor Shi Tian were extremely shocked. Afterwards, several people were also polite and said some nonsense, but only Nalan Yan was trembling among this group of big guys. Miss Ling Mei, now, can you tell me about your situation? Said Emperor Shi Tian. Ah, Sister Ling Mei didn't tell you, let me tell you. Niao Niao immediately chirped. After listening, Han Shui and Emperor Shishan took a breath of cold air. They didn't expect Ling Mei to have such a background, and they didn't expect that Li Bai actually destroyed the Eternal Land. The Ling clan is really not a group of good things. Sister Ling Mei, don't be sad, wait for Emperor Shishan and I to recover our strength, and take you to beat them. Han Shui is still as sentimental as ever. It's okay, the Ling clan will pay the price sooner or later. It's you who make me curious. Ling Mei said with a smile. Emperor Shishan and I are both reincarnated people. Han Shui said slowly. Reincarnated people, so you were also emperors in your lifetime. Jian Shi said slowly. No, I am a pioneer, and as for Emperor Shishan, he is an explorer. After speaking, the entire Tiangong Hall fell into silence, with only Niao Niao and the other two, rapid breathing and violent heartbeats. They thought that Han Shui and the other person might be an emperor, but they didn't expect that the other party's background was so powerful that it was beyond their imagination. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 359. After a long time, he said quietly. You guys, are so awesome. By the way, then are you people from all heavens and all realms? Niao Niao asked again. No, I am from the end world, and as for my brother, he is from the outer world. Han Shui shook her head and said. After hearing this explanation, the three Niao Niao nodded silently. This did not surprise them at all. No wonder, if you are people from all heavens and all realms, it is impossible for you to be missing from the Eternal Emperor list. By the way, what about this one? Immediately, he glanced at Dashichan beside Han Shui. Although she couldn't see his state, she always felt that when facing Dashichan, she had a creepy feeling, as if she and Dashichan were not creatures of the same dimension. This feeling also appeared after he learned Li Bai's identity, but it was much weaker. Well, this one is a bit special. We don't know his true strength. We just know that Dashichan was created by someone. As for who it is, we can't tell you, and we can't tell you. Han Shui said slowly. It's okay, as long as it's on the adult side, it's fine. Niao Niao said slowly. Okay, next, it's the sister. He looked at Nalan Yan with burning eyes. Seniors, my name is Nalan Yan, I come from the lower realm and am the Holy Master of the Purple Forest Holy Land. Nalan Yan lowered her head and said, being among this group of big shots always made her feel uncomfortable. Presumably, Sister Nalan must have something special about her. You don't have to guess, Nalan is the guardian of heaven. Han Shui said to everyone. Hearing this sentence, the three of them were confused. The way of heaven, what way of heaven? Isn't it true that our upper world has no way of heaven in eternity? That's right. Hasn't the heavenly way in the eternal upper realm been destroyed by the spirit race? What's going on with this guardian? Hey, you'll know soon. However, before that, my lord said, let you summon the top forces in the upper world. Han Shui showed a mysterious smile. It's your lord's order, but who does this top force refer to? This is the invitation from the spiritual clan. That's it, no problem, I'll contact you right away. However, the Daijun clan. Don't worry, I have contacted Daijun Taishu, and he will be here soon. Ling Biao said slowly. No problem. After Niao finished speaking, she sent invitations to several top powerful emperors in her mind. Fortunately, they all knew each other before she fell asleep. After a moment, he opened his eyes and said, okay, they have agreed and will be here soon. In that case, Dasha-chun, can you cook some barbecue? Let me tell you, Das Hashun's barbecue is delicious, especially the roasted kidneys. Han Shui said with a trace of drool left on the corner of her mouth. Eldest sister, you have eaten hundreds of kidneys just now, and you are so full of dragon marrow and phoenix bile. Are you sure you can digest it? Emperor Shishin reminded from the side. Don't worry, I'm very fierce. Afterwards, Dasha-chun really started to barbecue, and he ate without making a sound. Just when everyone was enjoying their meal, they heard some hearty laughter coming from the hall. Ha ha ha, I don't know why Niao is in such a hurry. Tisk, tisk, I didn't expect that Niao would wake up. Then, they saw 3 men and 2 women slowly appearing in front of everyone. You guys are here, come on, try this kidney, it's delicious. Niao took a skewer and said enthusiastically. Niao, don't tell us that you specifically asked us to come here just to eat kidneys. Also, aren't you going to introduce me? A woman with stunning looks and plump figure said in shock. You can decide for yourself, I still want to eat kidney. After hearing this, Niao ignored everyone. Ahem, everyone, let me introduce you first. Later, Jian Shishi introduced Han Shui, Di Shishin, and others to no one. After hearing the identities of the 2 people, everyone's eyes widened, and their eyes were filled with tremors and disbelief. Damn it, the forerunner of the end world. The explorer of the outer world. It's so shocking that I've been waiting for 1,000,000 years. Junior, greetings to senior. Immediately, no one shouted in unison. It doesn't have to be like this, it's time to eat and drink. Han Shui waved her hand and said, while Emperor Shishin nodded lightly. Senior, I am the current master of the demon palace in the upper realm, demon immortal. Senior, I am the head of the Mu family in the upper realm, Mu Yang. Senior, I am the origin of the Dao Tianxian sect in the upper world. Senior, I am from the Mo family in the upper realm, Mo 11. Senior, I am Xiao Aizai from Xiao Ao Pavilion in the upper realm. Just as everyone was introducing themselves, another extremely powerful aura slowly appeared in the heavenly palace. Huh? There are also experts. Demon Immortal said in astonishment. After a moment, an old man slowly appeared in front of everyone. Ha ha ha, you are already here. You are? Mu Yang asked slowly. He always felt that the person in front of him was familiar, but he couldn't remember it. Let me introduce you, this is Senior Daijun Taishu. Ling Biao said slowly to everyone. Hearing this sentence, the 5 people were shocked again. You must know that the Emperor Jun family has not been born for an unknown period of time. They thought they would see each other again at the Emperor's cemetery. Junior, meet Senior Daijun Taishu. Ha 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 ha, it doesn't have to be like this, I'm just a bad old man now, I can't compare to you young people. Daijun Taishu said with a smile. Hearing this, everyone rolled their eyes unconsciously. Senior Taishu, I wonder which genius you will send this time. Is he the son of Emperor Xuanhuan? Mu Yang asked Dijun Taishu. No, Dijun Haoshan is dead. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 360. Hearing this sentence, everyone's eyes froze and they all expressed disbelief. You must know that Emperor Jun Haoshan is the son of the Emperor with double immortal bones. How could the Emperor Jun Haoshan be allowed to fall? The deaths of their lineage are all their own fault. There is no one to blame. Okay, let's not mention this matter for now, let's talk about other things first. Emperor Jun Taishu deliberately avoided this topic, while the rest of the people caught a key word and kept muttering in their hearts. Senior Daijun was talking about this lineage just now. The lineage of Daijun Haoshan is the Emperor Daijun God. Could it be? However, they also know that they just need to think about it in their hearts. Okay, everyone, now that we are all here, let's get ready to discuss it. I believe you also know why you are called here. Han Shui said slowly to everyone, while Daijun Taishu was informed of their identities by Ling Bing from the very beginning. Miss Han Shui, do you have any orders? Dijun Taishu asked slowly. That's right. How did you see the spirit tribe's invitation this time? Han Shui asked several top powerful people. Although we also know that there is a high probability that this is a trap, we still want to take a gamble. After all, this is the cemetery of the great emperors in the origin worlds of both parties. We really cannot resist this temptation. The demon fairy frowned and said. Hey, little demon fairy, aren't you afraid that we will all be tricked and killed by the spiritual race? He said softly next to the demon immortal's ear. Humph, although our major forces individually are not the opponents of the spiritual tribe, if they are united, even the spiritual tribe will probably have to take it very seriously. The demon immortal is right. This is why we dare to accept the invitation. If we unite, the spirit clan will not be able to bear it, let alone the Emperor Jun clan. That's right. Mu Yang and others nodded in agreement. As for Emperor Jun Taishu, although he did not answer, the twinkling light in his eyes confirmed everything. At this moment, Emperor Shishin retorted to everyone. No, you think too highly of yourselves, and you take it too much for granted. You know, you are just pawns and test subjects. Oh, no, even the Eldar themselves are just test subjects. Senior Shishin, why do you say this? Yes, it's easy to understand that we are chess pieces. Why do you say that the spirit tribe is also a chess piece? Next, is the secret I want to reveal to you. Listen carefully, I will only tell it once. Han Shui said extremely seriously. Everyone immediately pricked up their ears when they heard the words, for fear of missing any details. Then, Han Shui slowly told the reason for all this. Boom. In an instant, everyone was turned to stone, with no trace of blood on their faces, even Emperor Jun Taishu. It took a long time for everyone to react. This, how is it possible? Absolutely impossible. The tomb of the originator, this is simply a fantasy. Is this a secret I can hear? Damn, isn't that the inevitable ending? No wonder, they already want our most talented genius. Everyone was stunned and their words were incoherent. Senior Han Shui, is this your lord? Dijun Taishu frowned and said. That's right. However, after hearing these words, Dijun Taishu breathed a sigh of relief. That's good. If that's the case, you must have a way to deal with it. Okay, everyone, there is nothing we can do now. Please wait patiently for your return. Emperor Jun Taishu said to the 5 top forces. The word sir appeared several times in the mouths of Emperor Jun Taishu, Han Shui, and others, and everyone couldn't help but be extremely curious. Senior, who is this gentleman? Can you reveal a little bit first? You don't need to know so much. You only need to know one thing. If you want to destroy the spiritual race, you can do it at your fingertips. This sentence scared the five of them so much that they no longer dared to ask any more questions. On the other side, Li Bai said in his heart immediately after leaving Suotian Holy Land. Where are you all now? My dear, what's wrong? What happened? I'm still in the fairyland. I'm in the end world. I'm in the boundless sea. I'm here, the original ancestral land. I am here. How's it going? How's the plan going? Li Bai asked slowly. Hey, don't worry, the plan is going well, but the supervisors seem to have discovered something strange. It's fine here, but it's the same problem. Damn, you guys are all going so smoothly, I've run into a little trouble here. The third clone said in frustration. What's wrong? My dear, the darkness is also starting to cause trouble. Darkness, okay, I understand, I will solve this matter. Are you going? No need, I can handle it. No problem, you go first and explore the disorderly place. Okay, my lord. By the way, my lord, if you suddenly ask us this time, it should be more than that simple, right? The first avatar asked slowly. As the first avatar created by Li Bai and the one who has been with Li Bai the longest, he knows the original avatar very well. Good news about our path, our answer. Hearing Li Bai's words, the 7 clones couldn't hold back their excitement immediately. My dear, tell me quickly, I can't wait. Immediately, Li Bai told the story about the originator. Ha 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 ha, I see, this is the secret they are determined to protect to the death. Tisk, tisk, it's really unbelievable, these innate originators were actually created. By the way, since you saw the Twilight Kingdom in that memory fragment before, does this also mean that we are likely to be the controllers of the Twilight Kingdom? Almost. Although I can't completely confirm this yet, this Twilight Kingdom definitely has a very important relationship with me. By the way, my lord, I just learned a piece of news from the old man Yuan. The 6th clone said suddenly. Original? He's still alive. Li Bai said in surprise. He, I didn't expect that he is still alive. You know, he was looking for his so-called destiny. There has been no news since the beginning of time. Explain. He said that he learned from a person's mouth that there was once a country in this world, and the creatures there were born to be forerunners. Not only that, they were all believers in the dusk. You think, isn't this a coincidence? The tone of the 6th clone became extremely excited. Damn it, I was born to be a pioneer, this is too abstract. Tisk tisk, this is indeed the country in my memory. To be precise, he is worthy of being the creature who created these originators. Where did you find him? The border between fate and disaster. Oh, that place, no wonder, that is the place where destiny originated. Xuanhuan must go to this place if he wants to find his destiny. Li Bai said lightly. Okay, now, it's up to you whether the plan can go to the next step. Just take a look, I won't let you down. Yes, after all, we also want to kill these origins of arrogance.